Hello, hello, hello. Welcome or welcome back to Lilies and Tomatoes. Tonight we're going to talk about how to keep your container plants alive. If we have not met yet, my name is Quincy Adams and I want to help you grow some of your own food in a small space on a budget. Let's get started. Okay, so tonight we are going to be using, this is the overwintered pepper as an example because the 5x5 garden that I planted with you guys last Thursday, the pepper in that plant has not done anything spectacular yet, and this one is a better example because it's got fruit on it. So that's why we're using this one and not that one or the other ones, because this is just a better example. All right, so first of all, let's talk about keeping your container plants happy. This container plant, this is the overwintered pepper. It's still a small plant, but it is producing a lot. So I think it was a couple weeks ago that I had this plant on and I harvested 6 peppers off of it. And so now it's got about 6 peppers on it again. So one thing I want to just like prompt you guys on is when you see fruit developing on your plants, harvest it as soon as it is big enough to use. So like, yes, these peppers will probably get a little bit bigger, but I want to make sure that I'm not like letting my pepper think that it's time to stop producing. So as long as we still have a long time left in the growing season, I'm going to aggressively harvest the peppers off of it and use them so the pepper plant will keep on producing a lot of fruit. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 peppers on this plant. And we just harvested all the peppers that were on it a couple weeks ago. So some of these are a little bit small, but I can still put them in some scrambled eggs. So make sure you're harvesting your plants as often as possible, particularly peppers, beans, and cucumbers, and leafy herbs like basil. The more you harvest, the more is going to grow on this plant. So if you think that your plant is not producing a lot and there's one fruit on there and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, don't wait till the perfect time to harvest it. Harvest it right away so your plant knows that if it wants to accomplish its mission, which is to produce seeds and reproduce, then it needs to produce a lot more fruit. I did not mean to say produced that many times in 2 sentences. So anyway, that's that. Another thing you need to do with your plant is you need to check it frequently. So you just want to inspect the leaves, see if there's any like bug damage or major bug infestations or any diseases creeping in. For a small container plant, generally, like me personally, if there's a little bit of disease on a couple of leaves, I'm just going to cut those leaves off. With a container plant, like your plant's whole life is in this little container. You do not want to go contaminate your container soil with a bunch of like random DIY things that someone on Facebook told you to do. I'm in, I think, like 8 different gardening groups. And without fail, whenever someone comes into one of these groups and says, hey, the leaves on my plant are turning yellow, what do I do? One of the first answers that they get every single time, it doesn't matter what the question is Epsom salt. Epsom salt is not the panacea of all things plant. You should not be adding Epsom salt to your plant soil in a container. If you're growing in the ground, you're less likely to do any damage, but you're probably not doing any good. But if you're growing in a container, particularly a small container, don't add Epsom salt to your soil. It's not, whatever you think it's going to do, it's not doing it. Just don't do it. So if someone says, oh yeah, just add Epsom salt, it works for me, ask them to give you their harvest because it's not going to work for you. Don't do it. All right. So it's better to do less, like less is more when it comes to taking care of a plant in a small container. So there's that. Fertilizer, give it fertilizer when you plant it. Probably if you're using a granular fertilizer, once a month if you see that the granules are gone, or every 2 months is good. You don't need to fertilize it all the time. If you're using a soluble fertilizer, then you have to mix it, and there's different things you can do with that. You can dilute it, you can give it full strength, but like it's an extra step. So if you don't have a lot of time and you're trying to get as much food in as little space with and spend as little time as possible, just put some granular fertilizer on the top. It'll be fine. You definitely want to make sure that you're checking the plant for water. So I'm sticking my finger in here pretty deep. It's moist down to like, when I stick my finger down to the second knuckle, it is moist down there. The top is dry. I am going to give this a little bit of water because it was 97 degrees today. And so I want to just give it a little top up. But generally, if it's moist down to your second knuckle, you don't need to add any water to your plants. But I am, just because I know that it was 97 degrees today and it was a rough day. Oh, and I've got a spider hitchhiker on my plant, but he's not hurting anything, so I'm going to leave him alone. All right, so when you see bugs on your plants, if they are little tiny bugs, then you can pick them off with, you can just like wipe them off with a damp cloth, or use a piece of tape to like stick the tape to them and get them off. If they're bigger, you can pick them up and toss them. Something like a spider is going to be eating other bugs. So spiders in my garden, they get to just chill because they're fine. If I see a bunch of wasps around, most wasps are carnivorous. So they're going to be eating other bugs. If I see wasps hanging around my plants, I'm going to leave them alone because they're probably eating some other bug on my plant. So with that, it's just like less is more. You don't want to do too much to a plant in a container, because this is the only soil that this plant has access to. And you don't want to contaminate that soil and make it a bad living situation for your plant, because then your plant's going to stop producing and you're not going to get any food. And that's pretty much it. Like really, if you check your plants, spend 2 minutes per plant, check them for diseases, check them for bug infestations, check the moisture level in the soil. That's really all you, and harvest your fruit. That's really all you need to do. So if you've got 10, or if you've got 5 containers and you spend 2 minutes per container, that's only 10 minutes a day. But you need to do it every day. Because if you've got your plants outside and it's, oh, I don't know, say 97 degrees outside, and you don't check your plant can dry up and die in a couple of days at those kinds of temperatures. If your plant is subjected to some kind of intense bug infestation, in a couple of days, your plant could be destroyed. Not this plant in particular, but I have seen like cabbage worms come in and just decimate a plant, or cutworms will come in. They will literally saw your plant off at the soil level. Then your plant is dead because you didn't spend a couple minutes a day to check on it. So just look, if you see any evidence of bugs, but you don't see the bugs might be nocturnal, or the bugs might be hiding in your soil. So you have to come back and check again later. But that's, in a nutshell, really what you need to do. Just check it every day. If it needs water, water it. If it's got some bugs on it, take them off or leave them. If you see another parasitic or carnivorous bug coming in to eat it, you can just leave them. It's not gonna like do any major damage. A little bit of disease, like this leaf right here that I just pulled off. This leaf looks like it's got some kind of blight or something on it. So I just picked it off. I don't see any other leaves like that on the plant. So the plant is good to go. So just check on your plants, make sure you water them. If your plant looks a little bit sad, like it's not getting enough sun, then figure out what you need to do to give your plant more sun. If it's outside, but it's in a shady area, move it. If your plant is all growing off to one side, then just rotate it so the plant ends up growing straight up instead of off to the side. And they're really, most of the things that you need to do are very simple. You just like calmly think about it and do it in a rational way, and then you don't have to panic when something bad happens. Now, I am really excited to tell you guys that I wrote a book. And let's see, can I switch this? Can I switch this without disconnecting? I'm going to try something. Yay! Okay, so this is the cover of my book. It will be available, the ebook will be available on my website probably tomorrow or Saturday at the latest. And then it'll be on Amazon hopefully next week, but by the end of the month at the latest. And this is about how to start from nothing, find everything that you need to grow a 5-gallon container, or 5x5 garden. That's 5 5-gallon containers, and just start getting some food production. So, it's something I've been working on for a while. I'm really excited about it. I hope that you guys enjoy it, and I'm really excited for everyone to read it. And it's just a quick read with some pictures from my garden and just things that I use in my garden. Just what is the bare bones? What do you need to get started? And it's not anything that's overly complicated or confusing. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask me during a live session, or send me an email or message me on Instagram. I am available for questions. And again, I'm going to remind you guys that if you're looking for free gladiola bulbs from this spring, then you can send an email to Andre at fireflyfarmandmercantile.com and make arrangements with him to pay him shipping so he can send you some free gladiolus bulbs to get planted right away. If you would like to start shopping for your fall garden or fall bulbs, then you can also get those at fireflyfarmandmercantile.com. If you want to get the 5% discount for the Lilies and Tomatoes community, the code is Lilies at checkout, LILIES. And I have definitely already heard people in some of my gardening groups talk about seed shortages and things being on hold already. It's still August. So if you want to get seeds for fall gardening or for next year, don't wait, because it's starting again. There's a lot more people who are trying to garden around like right now, and a lot of people are just buying a lot of extras. Some people are just tend to have a lot of extra in general, but I'm seeing people already, I've seen it twice, people are complaining about not being able to get the seeds that they want from different companies. So they're like, okay, where do you guys get your seeds? Because this company is already on back order, or this company is not shipping anything right now. So don't wait. If you want seeds, make sure you get them from fireflyfarmandmercantile.com, and make sure you get your 5% discount, LILIES, Lilies. If you want free bulbs from Andre, send him an email and he will make arrangements with you for you to pay the shipping, and you can get those bulbs for free. And look for my book, Zero to Garden, coming out in the next couple of days. That's all for tonight.